and he expressed so much concern about the presidential convoy. He said they run too much, and on a serious note, what the kind of roads we have here, we don't even have express road. On a serious note, these are just roads that we are trying to manage with since 1847, and yeah, on a serious note, but he was very concerned, and I said, "Thank you, Chief. We're going to talk about this." I can remember.
Was he fighting about the speed?
Yes, the speed, just speeding. Even I mean, sometimes they were just the convoy or whoever uses convoy or that supposed to use convoy, or I mean, they're just using convoy. Some people just use convoy and the steering.
Yes.
They just that's why I'm trying. They just use it, and they just care everyone when they come in. At the end of the day, you just park off the road, and at the end of the day, you see. But even from the president to the vice president to the speaker, even I don't want to say this, but a convoy almost killed Mr. SELLEE and one of his friends' wife while he was driving to come here the last time.
Wow.
Yes.
I think it's a serious concern.
No, Dolo, before you come in, when he came to office, it took him 3 hours to get back to himself.
Yes.
And I said, Chief, this is what God saved you for. So I mean, let's appreciate God for the lot that he said. But our convoy, at the end of the day, we called the office and told them this is what you are going to do. That's why they say drive safely. You if anything will happen, you are going to regret, because you know this man very, very well.
Yeah, Madeleine, anytime you suffer mental turmoil, it's usually difficult to recover. That's why the brain is so sensitive. Anything happens to it. I know it was obvious, especially where you are escaped. I can call that escaping death.
Yes,
so you have to think about that as well. But again, I think it's clear for those that are not only the convoy, some of you who have the authority to use the syringe, the way you misuse it. Some of you don't have anywhere genuine and no business trip, but the way you run as though you are going for urgent or emergency. Even in emergency, you also have to watch out for other people on the street, because some people, especially driving, some people they are not used to speeding.
Okay.
Yes.
What happened to me? I was learning how to drive on standard in the school car. I think some part of last year. I wasn't taking my own time within a rehab area. I saw a bed. The speaker come. I say, y'all will took my car for here today. I took my own thing while you were on your student driver. Okay. I took my own time. They were just either they were laughing or they were just there. They wish you up. I took my own time. I parked on the other side. I said, y'all will told me for here today. But on a serious note, speeding. Overly speeding, especially anyway, it comes to me too, and whatever we say here, it comes to us, and it goes to you. So we are very concerned, especially the road now is raining and it's very slippery, especially checking brakes, and you have to be very careful. Yeah. So you want to say something before we go? Okay. So today
we have like quiet.
Okay, we live.
Go ahead.
So if you're watching, you can also listen.
I want you to add the screen before you can do the introduction.
Oh no. With a little bit, we'll come to that. Okay, so usually Friday is intended for weekend drive, and we do business. Yes, and we talk a little bit of politics, but today we will be having with us the standard bearer of the Reformers National Congress, Honorable Alexander N. Colley. Okay, and we'll be talking a little bit of politics today, and then at 3:30, the Business and Economic Forum, we will be discussing the economic importance of tourism in Liberia. Yeah, so what are the benefits if we invest in this sector? But just to let you know that tourism is the world's largest industries. Yes.
I think it has all the industries in it.
Yeah, like transportation,
hospitality,
and Yeah, but we'll be looking at that
Yes.
as well. So it actually generates trillions of dollars in to the world. So we will be looking at that, and we'll be having with us the CEO of CT.com. He's Mr. Chris Hins Onanugu. We're going to be taking him online as well. So it's going to be here this afternoon. Yes, let's take this one. Liberia is on the rising as we prepare. All right, uphold it forever on October 10th. 20th presidential candidates go to the. We actually going to be electing one out of the 20.
Yeah, yes, it will be 1 over 20.
Oh, 1 over 20 or 1 over 19.
1 over 19. Sorry.
You sure 1 over 19? Because if we take one from the 20,
1 over 19.
I hope I'm getting that fashion right. Because I mean I did fashion way down.
No, I said 1 over 19.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have one of them here in studio with us, and if you are watching, you will also see Christopher SELLEE in studio B, taking on the guests one-on-one, and why Edwin and I, we are in studio A. So with no waste of time, let's now join them. Okay.
I earlier wished to stay off until Monday, as I announced on Wednesday, but I've been asked by Magdalene to join her to do this interview of this presidential candidate. A president is waiting as far as the reformers are concerned. And I have for us Reverend Emmanuel Dr. He's Alexander, sorry. My apologies. He's a senator, and the president is waiting. He's gone through all of these fights. I've been in contact with one another, and he sent us a lot of peace messages. We tried to download some of those messages to go on. But let me use this time to welcome Reverend colleague. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Chris, and good afternoon to all the listeners. We're glad to be here.
The first time seeing you, so you look invigorated.
Yes, I am. Well, we are excited to take over this nation and restore and bring about a good transformation that will take us to the next level.
Excited to take over this nation. That means you're 100% sure that you are the next president of the republic.
So if you can remember, some time ago when we first talked, there were a lot of things going on, and you were even wondering if I would even make it this far.
Yeah, sure.
And I told you, I said,
because you had eternal wrangling.
Right.
Some of your trusted guys where you accuse them of taking some money and then trying to compromise your principles and stuff like that. So myself that you have reached this point.
In fact,
How do you manage?
well, thank God. We give God the glory. In fact, one of them, when I posted on GNN News, that he will do all he can to stop me.
Really?
So, and you know, sometimes you don't really fight for little kids, like they always say. Just
really?
do what you gotta do.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, if you behave, you know, like one, then people call you as such. So.
Okay, so roughly 53 days to go to cast ballot. People going to be casting for you. You're going to cast for yourself. One thing I was there before we move on, and I like what I saw. I don't know whether you requested for it or is part of the regulations by NEC. I see a police officer assigned to you, carrying the Liberian flag. Not your own soldier, not your own police, not your own bodyguard, but 2 police officers are assigned to you.
That's true. Well, we want to say thank you to the governor of Liberia, to the President Weah, and the Justice Ministry or the minister, and the police as well. The IG. We say thank you to all those that are involved in taking our safety a priority. I have 2 great men assigned with me, and they are wonderful. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anyone better. Again, I'm told that there are 4 police officers assigned to each candidate, but 2 for the vice and 2 for the standard bearer. So we're very grateful. They have been very, very good. Even getting here, thank God we had them.
So you know what Magdalene and I have known, because she's sitting on the other side, and there is a little bit meeting of the minds between staffers here and the police officer. One of the staffers are asking to take a seat in the back there, and he said he cannot take a seat because he wants to say it's a good thing that your studio is transparent. I will not demand to go in the studio, but the door is transparent, so I will stand on the door to ensure that the VIP is fully protected. Meanwhile, let me show you how the police thank you so much. Okay. All right, so Magdalene, Edwin Dolo. Edwin on the other side is usually with Magdalene here, and Kotuko is also here in the background, is giving assistance, and Arthur Butler is the television engineer here to ensure that those in the United States or any part of the world, they can follow this conversation. Now tell me, campaign is launched since Friday, open since Friday, that's Saturday, August 4th. I know this day met you overseas, but you're back.
Yes, I'm glad to be back. You know, it's unfortunate now that to do this job, you need to have other connections. And our country has not really been developed to help us do that. I was speaking with some group of young people, and I told them it's sad that almost everyone, I mean, if not everyone, but most of us running this race will have to have some connection in the U.S. to make it. And I said, I'm very sure, I mean, I don't have the statistic to that, but I'm sure in other countries, people run for president and they don't even have to go solicit help in America like we do, because there are wealthy people, there are people who mean well for that country. But it's sad for a country that has existed for over 200 years of existence and 117 years of independence, that we can't even have someone, I mean, people among our midst. Yesterday, I appeared on a show, and I was telling myself, can we really name 1 millionaire, like a millionaire, who worked his way up to become a millionaire? We're not talking about somebody who worked in government, who went and stole government money, or who went and became president, or did something and became a millionaire. No, someone who really worked his way up. Is there any in Liberia today? Maybe there are or there is, but I'm not aware of that. So our country is not. So I had to go away and meet with some of our sponsors and our partners. In fact, a few weeks ago, like you saw, we sent some of our friends to India. We have some partners in India. In fact, as I speak now, so yesterday, the RNC will be providing 1,000 scholarships to students to go India and learn. This is not a 419 thing. This is something
that is upon winning, or even without winning.
We're going to win, but if you don't win the scholarship,
Okay, so you hit the ground running. Do you have any plan B? And Magdalene, I've just forwarded to you Reverend Collins' peace message. Maybe intermittently you can read it out. And then let's ask some questions from within. Do you have any plan B just in case you're not one of the first or second of the tier? That means the fact that you're not the first. If you come second, that means you haven't won. Any plan B?
Well, we're gonna win. We're gonna take the first B. That's our plan A. Plan B will come second. And not anything short of that.
So if plan B, if it comes second, meaning
plan B, plan A, you can get over 51%.
Okay, so that is required for 51% for one to be 50 plus 1%. So let's go into your manifesto, whether you have it. You've been pushing, you've sent me text messages about your position on peace. As a matter of fact, really announced it. She just attended the program. Today marks exactly 20 years since we were signed the call. Warren Faction signed, and 20 years of peace celebration is taking place. Monday we'll have a little bit of highlight and talk to some of the participants in the signing ceremony. But since you're already here, tell me your manifesto. What if there is a Reverend Colin on October 10? If the first committee, what issue Liberians expect?
So the first thing, in the first 100 days, we're going to declare 40 days of fast. We believe Liberia is a country that has been guarded and protected by God.
40 days fast, doing nothing.
Fast and praying. No, we're not going to just do everything on hold. Okay. We're going to pray that we're not going to have people do it. I mean, we will hope everybody do it, but the reality is we're not going to do that. We also want to have these 2 weeks cleaning the country everywhere.
That means the country is dirty.
It is dirty.
Okay.
Dirt is symbolic of spiritual degradation. Liberia, and I always tell people, the problem Liberia has is not necessarily always a physical problem. Liberia has a spiritual problem. And we'll go into that another time. But so we want to do that 40 days of fasting. We want to make sure we have 2 weeks declare of cleaning the country, United States, all over Liberia. And then we want to be able to attack 4 main areas. We'll be able to that one in the healthcare sector, educational sector, the economy, and the security. We want to make sure we tackle those areas. There are a lot of things, but we want to focus our areas in quickly hitting the ground and running those areas. We believe those areas will help us give us a good sense of direction and where we're going.
Okay, so if I got you correctly, so in fact, as if you form part of our planned debate of presidential candidates, we have these areas: the economy, education, agriculture, security, and cross-cutting, the WASH program, that's the water and sanitation and drug addiction. These are all coming up. As a matter of fact, by Monday, you should be receiving your letter of invitation to form part of that debate. Magdalene has just secured the hall downtown Monrovia. So of the three, the priority of the priorities, what is the priority of the priorities?
Again, I don't want to. I'm a healthcare practitioner.
Oh, you really? You have
I am a healthcare practitioner, and in fact, yesterday I appeared on the show, and I'll tell myself, look, we are where we are because we just did not jump in it. And I told myself, if you go to a hospital, if you're sick, whether it's a doctor or physician or whatever you call it, they come to you or treat you from 2 models. Mm-hmm. The first model is called the allopathic model. The second one is called the homeopathic model. So in the allopathic model, when you are sick, let's say you have a headache, when you go in the hospital, and they say, okay, well, you have a headache. That's a symptom. So the symptom is identified, and then the next thing is they provide you a remedy. Maybe they'll say a Tylenol, or maybe for us here it's paracetamol. And they provide that. And so that paracetamol will just interrupt the function of the symptom and then you get a relief. But
That relief is temporary.
Correct. It's called a continual dysfunction. So it is somehow, you feel like you are better, but your body is not functioning well. So it's considered a continual dysfunction. So on the other side of the homeopathic model, the symptom is identified, but there's something different. So what they do what you call a root cause analysis. Sometimes they will, check other things. Maybe the headache is maybe because of some, infection. Maybe you're having fever, so they'll give you Tylenol and some antibiotics, and then you have a relief because that paracetamol and antibiotic, because of the root cause analysis, a remedy is now provided. But this remedy is providing a continual function because the root cause has been identified and dealt with. So we take that same approach and bring it to Liberia. So we did a root cause analysis. We saw the symptom Liberia has, and we did what we got to do. And there are 3 areas that were identified. Number one, we've said, and we look at critically. Liberia is where Liberia is because of ungodliness. Number 2, insincerity.
You can't say that. We got uncounted amount of churches and mosques. And these edifices are filled up on Fridays and on Saturdays and Sundays. Everybody, the music play all over the place. Liberia is a godly country. How come our condition can be as a result of ungodliness?
And that's one of the reasons why I spoke with some pastor, and I tell him, somehow it baffles me. Liberia, in this West Africa, we have, again, I don't have the statistics. I would assume that we have a lot more churches in this part of the world, even Liberia, Monrovia. We have a lot more churches, but see how many wicked people.
The amount of wicked people have surpassed the number of churches. Is that?
The ungodliness is just not outside. It's in the churches. It's in the marketplaces. It's in the government places. It's everywhere. So when we talk about ungodliness, we're not only talking about the governmental workers or ministers.
Everybody's
it's everywhere. Even insincerity, and that's the second part. And the third problem is the accumulation of wealth through ungodly means or unfair means. Because let me just refresh your memory a little bit.
Yeah.
When President SELLEE took over, there was this guy, the minister, under Joseph, under DK Kotu, I'm sure.
Dr. Joseph Kotu, the late.
Yeah. And he was giving some money to upgrade the public schools. He did not do that. In fact, they realized that he had 300 ghost names on that. That's ungodliness. That's insincerity. Just recently, I mean, thank God for our police. They are very good to us. But if you remember, when President SELLEE took over, they I think the United Nations gave them, I think, $7,000 to $10,000 for benefit of resettlement. They did not get that.
The police
did not get that.
Doing a restructuring program.
Correct. In fact, I was told by some of the people that I talked with a few years back that some police people even took their lives because of what went on. Yeah. So there are a lot of things going on here. Even in just the common man, the Japan highway, they were building that. I'm told that these guys will go and take the crush wrap, put on the road, the next day it's gone. And they will put sand, it's gone. Even SKD recently.
Those are ungodly activities.
Ungodliness, that's insincerity, wickedness. Even in just recently, Liberia had to go play in Ghana. Do you know why that happened?
Because the stadium was not fit.
Correct.
But as president,
so who did that? Our own people. In fact, a few years ago, we had a Chinese guy who was even saying, "What kind of people are these? They live like animals. They will go and take the light bulb. Mind you, those light bulbs cannot even be used in their homes because the watt is so high. But they don't want to be evil. They don't want to be wicked. They go and destroy." Again, some people say, "Well, that opposition." So whether it is opposition or not, or for position, it is still wrong. this is Liberia. And then we'll go sit down in the video club. Oh, look at that country. Oh, their football stadium is so good.
So
What's
that
wrong with
means
us?
it's like the priority of the priorities is for you is anti-corruption.
Sincerely.
But here's what President Selleee called it public enemy number one, and George Weah came and said, President Selleee at the beginning of her tenure, she said public enemy number one, and a year to the closure of her administration, she said she could not fight. She fought, but she couldn't make it corruption. George Weah promised to fight corruption. The public money will not go into the pockets of individuals. Then one of these days he returns home. He's in a church edifice and said, people sing the song "Beat It," drummer beat it. We died our warrior. It's time for it. By the time he wants to beat it, then people will come and say, "Well, that my president." In essence, President Weah was saying Liberians are so intertwined, close, and to fight corruption. If Alex grabs me for corruption under his administration, there's somebody linked to me who is even more close to Alex, and Alex, because of that person, I would be let go.
Okay. So I mean that's the sentiment around here.
Yeah.
I don't buy into that. You know, Liberia is another problem we see in Liberia is we don't have an example. People want an example to follow. I'll answer that question, but just few days ago, a while back, I went in my neighborhood and I spoke to about 50 young people. And I asked them, when you grow up, who you want to become? And no one could tell me about one person in Liberia they want to become. So we lack example, even in government, even in sports, even in academia, just everywhere, even in business. Not one person. Chris, if we can remember, Mary Brooke, thank God for her. I wish we had a lot more, and I'm sure when we are put in office,
you're going to maintain her.
Certainly. I mean, I'm going to be one of her.
She's a hot cake.
But I'm going to be one of, because the thing is, they say, someone told me, they said Liberia, the people who live in Liberia, Liberia is like a diamond. You know, when a little child has a diamond and they play like a marble. That's why someone told me, so the how Liberia is in our hands, because we don't value it, we don't know it. But if you see somebody who is of value, you recognize them, because the same. And I tell people, I'm very principle minded. And so if I see someone who is principled and I know that person, look, Mary Brooke had gone all these places, and they will hail her. Oh, Mary Brooke. When she leaves, there is no one to step in her shoes. So we lack example in this country, and that's why we say we are the reformers. You know, in 1980, when Sonia Doe took over, they said, in the cause of the people, the struggle continues. In whose people? In whose cause? Because I was still the same, not in my cause. And then Kim Chancellor, he said, oh, above all else, the people. Again, whose people? I was here. Nothing happened to me. I did not benefit anything. And then came Madame Selleee, left Liberia. My brother,
poverty reduction strategy.
Correct. I was not lifted. I was still here, left behind. Maybe you were. And then
no, that's it.
Okay,
don't use me as an example.
Okay, no, I'm
saying you were not lifted.
And then we have President Weah, who can say hope for change. My sister, I am still looking for that hope, for that change. I'm still hoping. So that's why we came as reformers. We don't want to just do that. We're saying our plan is, and what we tell people, we say reformers stand up and the nation will follow. Be an example. Stand up in your workplaces. Stand up in your community, and the nation will follow. And that's why we lack example. We want, look, people putting debt everywhere here. If people doing this, if you have example, people will follow it. But no example in this country. And that's what we'll provide.
What are your strategies that we Liberians can be able to feed ourselves?
So we are a country that existed for a long time. So I was just talking to someone. I said this is one of the things we do in the entire West Africa. Liberia has one of the well-developed vegetation that we have. So we have spoken with people. Like I said, we have partners in India and other parts of the world. Mechanized farming is part of our program. We will enhance the ability of farmers. We will be able to do even corn. I mean, right now, maybe not here, but in other parts of the world, even the gasoline now, it has a portion of ethanol. We have vast vegetation that we can make use of that. So we are speaking with people, so we'll be able to really promote our farmers, provide them material, provide them funding, and also bring in other investors to invest in our soil using the ability and the human resource of Liberian people to produce and establish mechanized farming in this country.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so the global hunger index 2022 release placed Liberia in 113th position out of 121 countries. So is how much are you going to prioritize us feeding ourselves? Because everything that we are actually going through is because we have refused to invest in the agricultural sector. Because if we, apart from feeding ourselves, if we invest in the agricultural sector, I mean, Liberia will get back on the map. But so I want you to really explain to us what do you really have in your policy?
So like I told you, we have spoken with people. You know, mechanized farming, even the rice production, having corn production, even like using other means to have producing animals and dietary products, so to speak. So we have reached out to our friends who are willing to come and do that, and pretty soon when we take on, you will see that in reality. But one thing I can tell you, the hunger that we are experiencing, it's not necessarily that we don't have a place to plant or other things. Corruption is one of the things killing people. Look, I just spoke with a friend of mine. His grandmother passed not long ago. I met this grandmother in 1992. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. When I attended Monroe College. So he just told me that his grandmother was still on the payroll. I'm not going to tell you where. I was shocked. I said, 92, this woman was not working. So from 92 to this point, this woman on payroll, who taking that money? So, and that's just one instance. So we probably say times 1,000 or more, or 10,000, or 100,000. So where that money going? The late Makufali of Tanzania,
John Makufali.
correct. When he took over, he did that cleansing of the list. He got over billions of dollars, and he was able to take his country from one point to another. We've had several presidents since 1980 or since 1990. I mean, we were told 250,000 people died. Were there any cleansing of the list? I don't think so, because this woman is still being paid. So that's just one area. But we told someone, look, we have a plan for corruption. That there are 4 things we want to do. Number one, pay people well. If you pay the man well, the chances are for him to see, he will think twice.
What's the definition of well? Because Ellen, from $15, Ellen raised civil servants' salary from 15 to at most 130, 150 at most. And then a peaceful transition is on, and the incumbent came and said we have to harmonize. Some of those 150 was cut down. So I'm scared if you say pay them well. Which one is well?
So paying well is just not monetary value. Okay. So we can do that. But if I give you $200 or $250 and you don't have good health care, how would I help you? If I pay you $500 and your children don't have good school and the teacher charging all kind of things. So there's a whole system that we want to put in place. So when we say pay well, it's just not monetary, but we're going to put a system in place that will make people holding accountable. And then number 2, you punish sin. I'm a reverend. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11, it says, if you don't punish sin, you tell other people it's okay to sin. Mm-hmm. This is biblical. So if you pay the man well, and then you put in place a good chastisement. So if the man is corrupting, you deal with them. In fact, in our party, I don't know about other political parties, but we are now almost done. We're putting together a code of conduct. before you are even appointed in our government, you must sign that code of conduct. So that's one thing we take very seriously, including myself. And I tell people again, people, I always tell people know me. I'm sure people listen to me radio land. I attend Manuel College and I attended Newport Junior High. I have been a man of principle all my life. I mean, not because of my own, but thank God, God has guided me into where I have become. And number three, we will create a massive campaign against corruption. You teach people in school. I mean, teaching them against how corruption can cause a country to be impoverished, how corruption can cause a generation to go just bad. All the bad effect will teach that. I mean, I'm surprised that Madame SELLEE, with all her education, when she took over, she took out civics. Maybe she has her own reason. But you know what? If the country, you want the country to go well, you teach them about their country. Teach them civics, how to get engaged in government, and young people participation. We want to do that. Women participation. We want to do that. We want to emphasize those to our young people. But when you take civics out of school, they don't even know. So we want to be able to reinstate civics and even put in place a course that will help people to understand what corruption will do to you. And when you're caught, we will make example of you, even myself. And then number four, if you are if you are elected or appointed, we make it or pass a law that you declare your assets.
But it's just a law already,
okay.
Except that no one
will enforce that. You see, and that's what happens. People go in government very poor, they come out rich. See, so all the hunger thing here, if we put things right, there will be money to take care of our people. I mean, it's just sad that every time rice, we're getting percent for rice, but there are other things we can do to help our people. But the people in authority are not doing that.
Okay, so Business and Economic Forum coming up next after this segment. That is Maggie, am I correct? Okay, so just so we don't run into that time, Maggie, I forwarded Alice Colley's peace message. I want you to read it on WhatsApp. I forwarded it to you on WhatsApp. I want to read it. Let's ask a few questions before we open the lines, and then we'll call it a quit before a Business and Economic Forum can come in.
Question? Okay. Okay, a message of peace to the nation, fellow Liberians. As our country enters this crucial period of elections, I want to take a moment to send you a heartfelt message of peace and unity. Elections are a time of decision making and shaping the future of our nation. But it is important to remember that the strength of Liberia lies in the unity of its people. During this electoral process, let peace be the guiding principle that drives every action and decision. Okay, embrace a diversity within your society and recognize that each person has a valuable contribution to make. It is through respectful dialogue, understanding, and compassion that you can ensure that these elections serve as a stepping stone towards a brighter future. Remember that the power of change lies in our hands, and we have the ability to shape the destiny of our nation. Let's express our thoughts and opinions while respecting the rights of others to do the same. Engage in peaceful debates and discussions, always mindful of the fact that progress is achieved through collaboration and not division. Let tolerance be our compass, as it is true acceptance and respect for the varying viewpoints that we can build bridges of understanding, embrace the principles of democracy, justice, and equality, for they for they form the bedrock of a peaceful society. Above all, let us stay united as Liberians, regardless of political affiliations or personal beliefs. Remember that we all share a common nationality and a collective identity. Let this sense of unity guide our actions, especially during this crucial time. Stand together, show empathy towards one another, and reject any form of violence or hatred. I have faith in the resilience and strength of the Liberian people, especially the youth. Our history is testimony, a testament to our ability to overcome adversity and build a better future. Let these elections be another milestone in the journey towards progress and prosperity. Yes, okay. May peace prevail throughout Liberia, not just during the elections, but in the days, months, and years to come. Together, we create a brighter and more prosperous future for generations to come. In union, success is sure.
Okay. All right.
Get it, son? Yeah.
Strong
In
success
union,
is show.
strong success is sure. Alexander and Collie, Senate Bearer, Reformers National Congress.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much. And yes, Prince Tibla we are correcting the error. Prince is reminding us that we misspelled his leader's name. We didn't misspell, we misplaced it. I think that's it. So, but we are correcting it right now on the screen as you are watching this peace message. What comes to your mind? You think Liberians are stubborn? They don't like peace, or they liberal? They accept these kind of messages?
No, I think Liberia is a very good place, and we are wonderful people. I've traveled around, not a lot, but I've traveled many places. And I see how other people behave, how other people treat others. We are very good people. In fact, yesterday, so I need to get a little mindset of where I come from. So I was on the show yesterday, and they asked me, when you win, would you pull President Weah and serve in prison? Will you persecute them? Excuse me. And I said, well, our goal is not to imprison people. We're here to make our country better, to make it a good place to live. I mean, for 176 years, we should not be coming, I'm going to run for president because I want to put him in jail. That should not be our goal. My goal is
but people have to account for their stewardship.
Correct. I understand. So, but we have to now take into consideration certain things. You have to look at the condition, the state of unity in our country, the condition of love and caring for one another. So I tell myself, let me be that, like I told you earlier, there is not an example in this country. We don't have put our show example. That's why Mary Bro is hailed all over this place, because she has displayed something that people don't have. We can do that. So I told her, I said, look, let it start with me. Treat me corrupt, persecute me when I take over and be the corrupt man. So from me, I want to be, and I told person, when I take over, mark my word, and I'm looking right in here and telling you, I will be the best and the greatest person that Liberia has ever had. I will definitely be corruption.
The greatest president Liberia has ever had.
True.
That's surpassing William Tolbert. Everybody making reference to Tolbert.
True. Tolbert has been someone that I have admired all my life, but I'm going to surpass him. Again, and I tell you, so persecuting these people will not really, it will even bring more disunity and chaos in our country. They have followed other things, but you need someone who can say, I'm going to take the lead. I'm going to set the example. I'm going to set the course. Follow me as we take our nation to the next level.
Some of your competitors refer to themselves as Rescue 1, Rescue 2, Fixer 1, Fixer 2, the Broom 1, the Broom 2. What's your quote?
We are reformers.
Well, Reformers
That's
1,
right.
Reformers 2.
We are reformers.
Where is your running mate?
She's engaging with some of our party colleagues outside the Monrovia.
So we got 53, at most 52 days to go. You nervous? You feel nervous? Man,
Like I told you,
decision making date is at hand.
Yes, I'm excited to serve my country at this level. I am very excited. I mean, look, I couldn't ask for a better opportunity to be at this level, where I'll be able to take my country to the level that we've been dreaming.
Okay.
So I'm very excited.
All right. So with that, and I'm told I've just been elected that one of your competitor, Alex Cummings, your namesake, is naming his running mate. I mean, not running mate, but his campaign team today, and they're gearing up at the CPP's headquarters. Let me quickly ask before we open the lines. When are you naming your campaign team? Have you done that already?
We're still working on things. Like I said, they say the race is not to the swift, but they that
endure to the end. Well, anyway, so Magdalene will entertain a few calls, and Reverend Alex Colley will address your concerns one by one as you ask, and then we call it a quiz on this weekend's wet Friday afternoon in Monrovia.
And good afternoon to my comrade from Nippon Jai. My name is Hartford B. K. And I want to ask you a question. You asked that you have seen a millionaire who have worked through honestly to become a millionaire. So what happened to you yourself? Why have you not worked honestly to become a millionaire? What happened to yourself? Two, and my second question has to do the way you're baffling. Will you be able to bring the war crime code and economic crime codes to Liberia to prosecute people who have corrupted and created humane acts towards Liberia? Those are my question. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. Hello.
This is Magdalene.
Yes, sir.
And let me say hello to the girls. This is the back here for administration. Teaching on that. I just want to ask the Honorable Institute quickly about two questions about peace. Because this morning I listened to the Deputy Police Director. He's saying, I hear you can bring the entire West Africa in Liberia. When the Liberian people are not certified, there will be no peace, and it is true. Why are you people saying that you people are in the executive or maybe want to become president? Like they see the violence all over the place. Let me let the cat out of the bed by CDC. Because they didn't get 13, they didn't get 15, and they come down, they are doing it. So we want to stay and condemn, we're all doing anything, and why people are saying to next? Because they think it got a representative to bring a war. Because if you see another opposition has been mad, then nobody, the opposition, and then the police just stay in the middle and nobody will be arrested. But at the end of the day, maybe they will arrest the opposition and leave the ruling party. On my example, they did it, I tell you, I can't agree with the man, and they were arrested. The board that they get paid on July 26th, it's also true. You know, they will just condemn and leave it and continue to do this thing. Why are they taking to start this thing?
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Can you feel? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Quickly. Yes, sir.
All right. What happened? Okay. How do you get a work already?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but we talk about it too. Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, we've not spoken about it. Yeah. Okay, so let's take at least two more calls. Hello.
Good afternoon, Sis Natalie. Good afternoon, Uncle Chris. Good afternoon to Edwin and your student guests.
Yes, sir.
My name is Kevin. How am I going to cast this afternoon on the Wednesday? I'm out of the very speaking, but Natalie, I'll be honest, we are not seeing the very apply in my clinical, as I'm coming on, but when the president, we apply is flying. So I think when we be able to apply in my clinical, we'll see the revenue talking about. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Yes. Let's take call and call it, or they go back to our guest 0777 25 38 19. All right, so yes, we can't take any more call again. So yes, Mr.
Okay,
Colley.
Thank you. Well, talking about millionaire, I am not my friend. I am not a millionaire. What I'm trying to refer to here is For a country that has existed for 176 years, the conditions are not created to help someone get to that level. And we are saying, give us a chance, we'll create the condition. We'll be able to help Liberian business people. We'll be able to help small business entrepreneurs and create that platform. And in fact, yesterday I was telling some people, and I said, we see Flavor and all the other people who are musicians. They are all millionaires around here now. We have gifted Liberians, but what's going on? So, but the conditions are not created. So I asked him, I said, how many theaters do we have here? Yeah? So besides City Hall, I mean, thank God now that they built what we have at the ministerial complex. But besides those, do you have a theater? For 176 years, you don't have a theater in your country. How can a man showcase his talents? And so you see, so all these things we will be able to provide, because we have identified, and like I told you earlier, if you listen, we did a root cause analysis and we came up with certain things. We address those issues, you know. And talking about my brother, Mr. Lombe, my Bani brother there. So this is it. We see all that's going on. We hear things. You know, even our lives have been targeted, but we can't destabilize the peace. So we have a chance, and I speak to all the Liberian people. We have a chance to make the wrong right. Let's use our vote. We can't go in the street to say, oh, well, this person is beating other person, so CDC is causing chaos, so we all should do it. We'll destabilize our country. We don't want to do that. So what we have to do, let's use our vote. Be quiet, be calm, be patient. We have a few more weeks. Come October 10, we'll be able to vote. And once we vote, let's vote right, and that will be able to turn the situation around. And to my brother, I don't know where he talked about dual citizenship or dual currency.
The US and the Liberian dollars.
Correct. So the currency, I don't think is a problem, for us to have that. But this is what we will address. We first need to provide, value for our money. You go in other countries, the US. In fact, I was in Morocco not long ago, and I had some US dollars with me, and people didn't even want to take it. Even in Ghana, they don't even want to take it. They don't value that much. But what do we have to value? Like I talked to Madeline earlier. When we take over, we have all these mechanized farming. We have all these people coming in, our partners, other people who will be able to do well for Liberia without corruption, without taking any kickback. Because if we see you doing that, we'll make an example of you. I mean, we've had all these concession agreements. What benefit have we had? 176 years, we can't do nothing. The population of Lagos is almost 16 million. A city. We are 5 million, a country, and we can't even help our people. Shame. So we'll try to first back our money up, and then we can get rid of that US currency. But I mean, not completely, but we need to do something to back our money. And my brother in Gibi and other parts of the same thing happened yesterday. Like, oh, we need you in bombing. If I some people call from Bon County, it's another guy who called us outside and said, look, we don't need any money from you. We love your message. We love what you're saying. Just give us a flyer. We don't need anything from you. We'll carry a message. So we come in MAGDALENE, we come in other places pretty soon. There are people who are there, but you just have not seen them.
You released your campaign song? Not yet.
Not yet.
Campaign team? Not yet.
Not
what
yet.
Are you waiting for?
We will do. We have
3 weeks into campaign already.
The song and the thing, it's all just. It's not really that much important.
You want to do it differently.
Correct. In fact, and I told us we're going to do things differently. You not really see us having these public rallies. We think that is just a waste of our time.
House to house.
And few things that we cannot say on the air.
Okay, so I've always seen folks on the Business and Economic Forum. I see Bobby, Bobby, you are monitoring us. I also see another panelist. Good afternoon to all of you. You guys will soon be on. We are closing this interview now. We told that Alex Cummings is also naming his campaign team. We already have Alex Colley here as running presidential candidate, and has outlined his. Sorry, I need to do this one. He has outlined his program, agriculture, education, and security, health, priority of the priority. He said health, corruption, the economy, and stuff like that. And so we're going to do this most of the time with Alex as we move on to October 11, October 10. He said he's not nervous. He's upbeat. He can't wait to be announced winner of the election, 2023, October 10th. So Magdalene, thank you so much for having us on this platform. It's over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Eliza. Noble Colley, it was good having you. Okay. Thanks so kindly for your peace message. I think I'm going to record it, and then we can also play it on this platform.
Just one moment. Go. I saw all Nigerians. Please go. Just 3 reasons I want to take this. Don't because of the word sovereignty. I learned something from our mentor that the sovereignty. Sovereignty. So into your questions, is
in monarchy, sovereignty is in the queen. In democracy, sovereignty is in us, the people. So we surround our sovereignty to the president, one person. That's why he becomes the president. So vote and vote right, because the way you vote will make you hungry, it will make your country to go down, it will make you happy or put food on the table. Thank you.
Okay, all right, sir.
Okay, see you Monday.
All right. Mr. George, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
I'm trying to get to my office as quick as possible, so I'll be in and out, but I'll be there in my office in about 5-10 minutes.
All right. Is Magdalene there? Yeah, I do see, I guess. How are you, Edwin?
Today. Hi.
Edwin, how are you? Okay, I don't think he can hear me. Let me try calling Magdalene.
Magdalene was just on the show, so apparently she went out. Yeah, you know, when I see Chris, I know my blessing coming. What are you laughing for, my man? When I see you, I know my blessing coming.
I'm saying nothing, Jackson.
Okay, I will leave it as that. But I know my blessing coming. I will call you after the show.
Okay. When are we starting the show?
Right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Borby Brokla, and welcome to the Business and Economic Forum, which is carried live on Real TV Truth FM every Friday morning, 11:30 to around 12:30. Sorry for the slight delay. Apparently, the political season in
All
Liberia is.
right.
Oh,
We sincerely apologize. I mean, we are in a political season. I'm getting feedback.
Magdalene, can you hear me?
Is that
Can you hear me?
okay? So we are in a political season, and most of these programs will at times be, interrupted because we're about to choose or elect leaders come October 10th, and we are just 53 days away from October 10th. And Mr. Alexander Kumis is at the party headquarters on the 19th Street, and he's naming his campaign team. So we will go on with the business show this evening, but we might receive a call from Joseph Batoma, who is at the headquarters, to give us update. And then after the show today, the business and economy will bring up full coverage of the entire message. The naming ceremony. So so let's now, with no waste of time, we might be as soon as we get a call from Joseph Batoman to answer a few questions, then we will have to interrupt the business show to join Joseph Batoma at the headquarters of the CPP. All right, so today, our topic for today is economic importance of tourism in Liberia. Yes, in Liberia. So now let's go to our panelists. We have our guest today is Mr. Chris Haynes Onanuga, CEO of CD.com. I hope I'm getting it, Bobby.
Yes,
Bobby,
Magdalene, can you hear me?
Yes, I get it clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
we are. You getting him too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning again. I had started the introduction, but apparently you guys couldn't hear me earlier. I'm very excited to have our guest on the show today. Gentleman has a wealth of experience in business. Today we're going to be talking about one component of his area of expertise, and that's tourism. Tourism is one of the areas I believe that can generate massive economic activity in Liberia within a short period of time. We already have the resource that's needed for that, but I'm anxious to hear from Mr. Christopher Hayes Onanuga. My name is Bobby Brokla. I'm a financial professional, Liberian living in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'll turn over to my fellow panelist, Mr. Jackson George, to introduce himself, and then we'll welcome on our guests.
Again, my name is Jackson George. I am the executive director of the Liberian Business Association in the diaspora. Chris, welcome to the show. We are excited to learn from you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome our special guest, Mr. Chris Hayes Onanuga. And Mr. Onanuga, welcome to the show.
Thank you, everyone. Magdalene, thank you for trying hard, but I mean, do better. Yeah.
Okay, so I have Edwin. Edwin, I mean, you have to come closer.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So Edwin.
Yes, thank you. I think it's great. It's been a great show having had, and like you said, a presidential candidate. Now we are discussing business
Yeah.
and economy as well. Good. It's great to welcome Mr. Onanuga on the show.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm here at your
So-
disposal. Go ahead.
Okay, so I guess we can go ahead and get started. The first thing is, with the question of tourism, what are some of the I would like to know what are some of the things that you're working on, you and your organization, when it comes to tourism in Liberia. And then after that, we'll delve into a little bit into some of the challenges that tourism faces. But most importantly, what are the benefits that Liberia's economy can get from tourism, sir?
All right, but first thing first, let's try and see if we can define tourism in a simple form. Don't you think that will help us move forward a bit?
It
So that we
should,
can
yes,
be able to
definitely.
hear. Now, tourism is an interaction through human capacity on a social, cultural, and economic basis, which at the end of the day affect business and professionalism through the movement of people from one place to another. So it simply means that tourism is all about demography and movement. Having established that part, you will also want to understand. Sorry, let me switch this off on silent. You will also want to understand what sectors, the five sectors that tourism covers. Because tourism doesn't just walk, tourism have benchmarks. Tourism covers certain areas like entertainment and attraction, accommodation. It covers food and services, then trade and association, and lastly, regulations. You must have regulations in place to be able to deal with accommodation in the country, entertainment in the country, attractions, food and services, and trade and association. Now, why do you need to have all these covered? That is because you and I know that there are a lot of components that make tourism what it is. But what makes tourism work? Like you know the definition, it says that it's cultural and social economic phenomena of humans traveling from one place to the other. They leave their footprints and then they get involved in entertainment, etc., on personal, business, as well as professional means. Now, you cannot travel if you don't have a travel agency.
Hmm.
Even if you have a travel agency, when you land in the country, you need to be toured around. So it's called tours operator services. Someone got to show you around.
Yeah.
And if you land, the first thing you will get after you get your ticket and land is that the tour guide picks you up and has to take you to find accommodation. And to take you to find accommodation, the tour guide have to be able to understand the transportation network of that country. But then to be able to do all of this, you need what they call information guide. You don't walk into a place without knowing what you're doing, what you're going to find, what is expected. You must have a pre-phone knowledge of the place you're going. Then, when you have all this information guide, you will then have the sixth part to identify where and where the tourist attraction is. Are you looking for tourist attraction in terms of a physical green attraction? Are you looking for tourist attraction in terms of industrial attraction? Are you looking for tourist attraction in terms of medical attraction? What do you want to focus on that is making you go this route? Now, if you get those points clear, the next question would be, what am I to take back with me? Because you brought something, you got to take something back. It's a give and take situation.
Mhm.
And just imagine your ticket is $1,000, your accommodation is 1,500, your feeding is $1,000, transportation is $1,000. Before you finish doing everything in that country, you spend like $10,000 in 2 weeks. When you're going back, what are you taking back with you? The first thing you will take back with you is joy of having to have emptied your brain from the stress that you face in your working environment that you came from.
Yep.
Therapeutically, you have gained other things like, wow, I think this stress was the one making me sick with migraine and the rest because I'm so light right now. So medically, you become better. And don't forget on the three skills that research have shown in terms of hospitals, the gyms, and social interaction. The most important part that keeps you healthy more and live longer is social interaction. It's not the hospitals, it's not the gym. So tourism gives you an embodiment of a satisfaction when you go to the right place, taste the best foods, enjoy the best of life, relax on the best of beaches, sleep in the cleanest hotels, get the best of security, talk to the finest of people, drink the best of palm wine, fantastic coconut water, but you've spent $10,000 in that economy.
Mhm.
So
Wow. Mhm.
imagine that a small country like Liberia have a total of 100,000 persons who are tourists going to Liberia every year. Do the math. You want us to do the math? And ask yourselves what 100,000 persons will give the economy of Liberia if they all spend just $10,000. You can imagine what you're getting. Well, that's exactly $1 billion, larger than our annual budget. Now, the effect of tourism for 100,000 persons to go into a country and spend $10,000. I want to show you the effect, the downtrodden effect of it. Is that you say, oh, $1 billion was spent. That's a lot of money. Oh. No. How is it spent? Who is it spent on? Because tourists spend directly on the people. When they're driving from the airport, the first thing they stop to do is, oh, let's taste that palm wine. What they're selling over there? Oh, what they're doing over there? Let me buy this. And before you know, the lowest people in the society have begun to earn money from the airport to town. Now, when they're leaving, they will buy on the roadside artifacts, paintings. It costs money. But in the town, let me tell you the various areas of tourism that makes money. Do you know there is something called sex tourism? Hey, don't panic. Mhm.
I already panic you.
Tourism is the only sector that provides you the opportunity to make so much money in every sector. But the most important part of the sector that must start before it begins to make money is regulation. Keep laughing. I'm talking to you boldly because that's what it is. But without those things, tourism don't work. Anybody who doesn't have marijuana and doesn't have a good sex industry doesn't work. That's why you see Japan, Holland, Australia, and the rest, they have a structured economy, licensed people who are engaged and are treated to be able to get involved in the sector. There are over 800 dynamic units within tourism that allows you to earn money. And all these monies flow in the economy, forex. So the question to you on this show is, what has Liberia done to enhance our capacity to earn such huge funds from tourism, knowing that tourism, first of all, the first unique thing about tourism is that it is the largest employer of labor independently in any country.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes. In any country that tourism exists fundamentally, if the civil service of that country is 300,000, it means if tourism is structured, the total population of people in tourism will be 900,000, while the civil service is 300,000.
Wow.
So I'm going to help to show you. You see the nice bracelets that we wear on our hands with the rope passing through the round balls. They look like glass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. They're actually glass. But you know what kind of glass it is? Useless glass. You remember those glass bottles that you see broken on the road? People gather them, they put it in a machine that cracks them and rounds them up. To produce each of those things, it costs like 75 cents to produce one to $1. But when you buy them at the airport, how much does it cost?
$10.
$20, $25, based on how it's polished, based on how it's made to look nice with several colors. My brother, Liberia have so much glass bottles on the street that are highly trending. And do you know how much it costs to set up that small company?
No.
Between $2,000 to $6,000. That's cheap.
Wow.
Do you see Lofa? Do you see Nimba, Grand Gila, and the rest with thick forest? If you organize women's social group, women corporations, they will go into the forest every morning on their way to the farms and pick up all those beautiful seeds that drop from the trees, those red seeds that got black eyes, the vonvon seeds, the rest. And when they bring them to town, there's a small pin that can drill through them and polish them. And when they become lockets and chains and bracelets, each of those things combined could be produced for as little as 120, 140 LD. But when they get to our stores, they are $20, $15, $10. All you need to do in the corporation is invest just a minimum of about, listen up, a minimum about 25 to 50,000 LD to those women to pick those seeds. And before you know it, you have blown in a forest industry. Now, it goes into tourism, medical tourism. People go to Ghana and Nigeria and other countries to heal themselves from boiling herbs and the rest and bathing in herbs and drinking the rare herbs to have. Liberia has the richest forest in West Africa in terms of herbal activities. But what have we lost? We've lost our tradition and culture. So our family and elders have not been able to transfer their knowledge of how to cure themselves those days to us. So all we've done now is even the jolobo, we avoid it. Moringa has been in our forest for years, but we don't touch it. Mariana has been in our forest for years, we don't look at it. How our parents were able to remain slim in their stomach and grow big butt, we still don't know. It's because we lost our ability and disconnected from our culture and tradition. And all those are cash. Because they could be produced in the right quantity, packaged in a way that the world will buy and export. Have you heard of the fact that you see a lot of slim teas these days? Where do they get the teas from Africa? How do they control the diabetes? Africa. Do you all know? Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you know what's the most important ingredient in a pressure pill?
No, I'm just
No.
I'll tell you, it's the venom of the snake.
And we do have a lot of snakes.
Every time you swallow a pressure pill, just know that you are swallowing the venom of some of the most dangerous snakes in the world.
Why you want to jump? I didn't want to jump.
So, what is CityCom doing? Now, people understand that, okay, I'm a tourism expert, a strategist in terms of entertainment and the rest in the tourism industry, but I do not work as a Liberian on the global front. I have engagement with countries where I consult for, and that's why I do 40, 50 flights a year, moving from country to country, getting jobs done. But the question is, what is the Liberian system doing to encourage tourism? I'll tell you one thing that is going wrong is that we have not been able to have the political will to set our regulations right. And once the regulation is set right, fundings will begin to come in from here, there, and yonder. So I will inform you on this. There are monies every year set for Liberia from the World Tourism Organization. It doesn't reach because we don't have the regulations, the pillars of regulations in place. Some 34 million, 26 million, 40 million always are budgeted. But they can't come in, they leave because we don't have the regulations in place. Because it has to be devoid of politics, and that's not in place.
What are some of the key components of the regulation?
Can you please say that again, please?
I'll repeat for you.
Okay.
For instance, in 2011, there was a Minister of Information called SAAH. I hope you're taking note now, Magdalene.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
SAAH at that time, Liberia was non-compliant with all the tourism organizations around the world. I picked my phone and I called him. I said, Mr. SAAH. He said, yes. I said, yeah, in your office? He said, I said, can you come to my office on Ashman Street? He said, you pulling a minister? I said, yes, come. He came. Humble. He's a lawyer today. He came. I said, we have to work to regularize Liberia with the World Tourism Board. If I have to pay, I'll provide the money. Find out how much we owe. We became compliant. Within 3 months, the Ministry of Information found herself having close to 13 of her staff out of the country at World Tourism Organization's activities and training on the budget of the World Tourism Organization, not the government. And then there was this particular design of actions to start the real movement to raise the Liberian awareness on tourism. It was called Lift Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it's a lift. If you go on the Facebook, on the Google and press Lift Liberia, a logo will come out. I know the individuals whose hands are on that particular symbol because I instructed the designs, supervised it, walked through it with the president of Liberia, Ellen Sirleaf Johnson, the Minister of Information, other partakers around the world to make sure it worked. That would have been a catalyst. All of a sudden, by the time the minister left the Ministry of Information, everything died, and Liberia became non-compliant again. But this is where we're going. With that compliance, Liberia's pillars would have been set right because you must have regulation. That's one pillar. You cannot say you want to begin tourism and then anybody can come in the country and treat the citizens anyhow and it's acceptable, is it? Because you are bringing dollars. Pillar one. Pillar two, after the pillar of regulation, which will also have security. How do the tourists come in and how are they protected? If that takes place, how do we organize the travel agencies to understand their rules for tourists? How do we organize tour and guides institutions? Let me tell you something. Today, you should note, Liberia has the longest and the best waterway in West Africa, which makes us the most potent for water sports. Water sports alone, if organized in Liberia, could generate between $10 to $60 million for us every year. So what am I doing to solve those problems in my own little weak way? In November, December this year, we'll be opening a $2.6 million structure. It's almost done. Totally owned by Citycom Liberia Limited. Magdalene, I will say this to you: he who have eyes can see.
2.5 million. You got eyes, you will really see.
2.6. It's sitting right where everybody can see.
2.6 million.
But as you know, the reason why I'm out here for the first time staying so long is trying to finish loading the containers to finish. It's a one-stop solution center being built, structured to host and produce the kind of productions that makes Liberia what it is, that CNN will accept, that DSTV will accept. And as we speak to you, with elevators and everything almost installed, right in our nose. Because you need to have a place where journalists interested in tourism can walk into a building, sit to watch through a digital board, and work 24 hours till the next day online that can host at least 20 journalists who understand the role and research the whole night without having to look for internet.
Hmm. Let me interject here because I have a few questions. I don't want to forget them. Try to write them down. But let's start with the last issue you just mentioned, the $2.6 million facility. What type of facility is that, sir?
Well, I'm on a platform, so I can't talk about the next platform. That won't be fair.
Okay.
But I'll tell you that it encompasses everything: communication, media, training, events
Okay.
management. Take, for instance, there's a program called Big Brother Liberia.
Yes, I think I've
Today they
seen it.
host it in one house in Painesville. Tomorrow they host it in Broward. Day after they host it in Bannersville. No standard. Don't you see that?
Okay.
So this production center has a full house for any size of live TV shows. Both
Wow.
like the Oprah Winfrey,
Mm-hmm.
Jerry
The
Springer,
talk shows.
Steve Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
The same building too has components for reality shows that can host about 20 persons, 25 persons in the house. It
Hmm.
has several components. Even the technical crew that will be working on those particular reality show, talk shows, production, videos, and the rest live there in accommodation that is nothing less than that of Royal Hotel, Map Point Hotel, and the rest in one place.
Wow.
Then the major theater and other places are now about to start being constructed in Magibi on a 600 acres property. That will cost about $4.6 million. It starts sometimes in February next year.
Hmm.
Our
That
noise,
is-
we can't all do politics. Mm-mm.
No.
And your calling should define the results amongst the people you live with. The reality of the day is that if we cannot inspire, motivate, recreate, innovate the younger people who follow us, sooner or later we'll have two kinds of people: the direct armed robbers on the street and the political rogues in offices. Done.
That's true.
Oh, that's definitely.
I want to. I want us to talk about something else that I've been burning to ask, Mr. Nonaga. You mentioned the five sectors of tourism: entertainment, accommodation, food and services, trade and association, and regulation. Which one of those is the strongest in Liberia right now, and which one of those has the biggest potential uh, to do very well?
The strongest should be regulation, but it doesn't exist.
Okay.
And because it doesn't exist, the rest are individually being operated and given some level of life. Thank God that Patawi is coming upstream better. But what happened to Piso? Like Piso?
Mm-hmm.
Edina, Riverses.
Do you want to see when I tell you we have the longest waterway, it means we have the best landmass of beaches in the whole of West Africa.
I did not know that. That is
So it's 3,000
amazing.
square miles.
Just open your map. First of all, let me ask you one question. Africa as a whole. Are you aware that Africa is the largest continent in the world, but it looks like a third?
Yes.
Do you know how much of China you can get from Africa? 2.5 of China is in Africa. It's Africa landmass. But we have been made to realize that Africa is small, so that we can think small. The United States of America, there are almost like 4 of 8 that can count out Africa landmass. But when you look at the geographical map, Africa is tiny.
Yeah.
It's a mind's game.
Mindset. Yeah. Chris, one of the things that
No, hold on. He just talked about the most important.
Mhm.
But to be straight with you, Every aspect of tourism is important because you combine those five, they will give you 801 divisions that earn money. It's the largest sector of revenue generation on earth. Look, sometimes I consult for countries, and when I do,
you feel bad.
No, I don't feel bad because my man.
You're making money, huh?
An hour of consultation for me is between $800 to $3,000 an hour.
No, when I mean you feel bad, you come from a country.
I not feel bad. Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Because yo, I'm feeling bad one bit because we all have a role to play. First of all, sitting on your TV right now, I'm losing.
Exactly. Marlene got to know that.
Jackson, you know me. I'm losing.
We all losing.
No, Chief. I know. I don't want to accept that you are losing.
I am.
The mother of fight that Liberians are gaining so much from your drinking so much from your pot of knowledge. I don't.
Yeah, but they are gaining, Martin. We are losing. We are losing money.
No. Let me help her again. No, I said something right. But Madeline, you said something correct. But let me tell you why I'm losing. Tourism is defined as a social, cultural, and economic phenomenon, purely personal, professional, or business, where people travel from one place to the other. I'm looking at it from a personal business point of view. I'm losing. Because every time I'm not on this, it means that I'm on a phone call. Even if it's $800, I will make it. I hope you are getting me. That's why my company, in every investment we make, we are not collecting loans from banks. It's physical cash. So whatever investment you see us doing is physical cash. And let me let you know something. Jackson, I know well. Do I want to take Koboko and flog him?
Oh, why is that?
You're still my big brother. We solve our problem.
Brooklyn, that sits there with y'all, cannot ask me to do something and I say no. So while we are talking tourism, let me leave you with something so I don't forget. And this I'm going to tell you is important for each and every one of us to pursue. Each time people complain and nag about you and say you are this, you are that, just know you're doing something right. Listen, if you can get extreme praises and you can get extreme negative, you are doing something wrong. Now, let's take it this way. The greatest investment on earth is a factory called relationship. And it only manufactures one product. That product is called favor. The favor you do for someone today may be so small you consider it insignificant. But everybody around that person will know that you did something huge for them apart from you. 10, 15 years down the line, you find yourself in a fix. And that person is ready to sacrifice their life to solve it with everybody around them. You don't know why. And when they solve it, they say, Chief, you're confused, right? Say, 15 years ago. And the person tried to make you remember and you can't remember because for you it's a habit and it's insignificant. I repeat to you today, as long as you cannot be quoted to try to pull someone down, you have begun to invest in the factory called relationship. And when you sell those products properly called favor, when they're ready to come back to you, they will come back like thunderstorm and rainstorm. That is what the industry of tourism depends on to survive. That's why we call it hospitality. You move from one country to another, you know no one, but people take you and treat you so well that when you go back, you're like, I must go back, or I must send for Peter, I must send for Mary, I must send for Magdalene. and then that person who they sent for their life is changed forever. Tourism bridges and breaks borders. It bridges and cancels colors. If not for tourism, with social, economic, and political, cultural inclination, George Floyd's death would have been meaningless. But because social, cultural boundaries were broken by travels and movement and intermarriages and the rest, business, personal, and professionalism came into place. It was not blacks who fought for justice for George Floyd, it was the whites. Fortunately, I was in Minnesota when it happened. And Jackson lives in Minnesota. So tourism is an encompassing agent that allows wealth sharing without complaints.
Chris, I mean, thank you. You're touching a lot of us. Chris, I was fortunate to have taken my kids to Florida. At the park, there's a place called the African Safari. I hate to say the white man came to Africa, saw our continent, took part of our continent to Florida. And my kids are happy because they are experiencing Africa, and I'm mad because I live there and I see the roads and the water and the truck going into the waters and the lions and all of these things. I'm not happy because, I grew up in Africa. But it cost me $260 for one of my kids to get on that car and go through for a 45-minute excursion. And I took with 6, including myself. Can you imagine? That's just one excursion, though. But what I'm saying is that how can it be that we who have the best vegetation, the best scenery, the best everything, we don't even have those things that they took from us and brought here? Another thing that puzzles me the most, we come to these United States, we learn, we get educated, we live here, we see what these people do. But then we go back to the continent and we basically cannot duplicate or replicate whatever we see here. Something got to be fundamentally wrong with us as Black people. I don't want to say Liberian. How? How can we sit in a classroom with these people? We know our ability. I have gone to school with some of them. We know how smart we are, yet our countries are looking like we are totally primitive people. So what Chris is saying is true. Tourism alone, once we start with tourism in our country, we don't need mining. Go to Mexico, go to the Bahamas, go to places, go to Jamaica. You go to Jamaica, you think they don't have slums, but as part of Jamaica, you go, you won't even know you're on Earth.
No, but hold on. I just told you there's sex tourism and there's marijuana tourism. Listen to me. I'm saying this to you clearly, so you need to understand. The fundamental on why people travel without alcohol, marijuana, and sex tourism doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
No, but let's take it this way. Look at West Point. You think it's a slum? I'll tell you what West Point is. It's a supplier of health because every tourist who lives in Council Liberia, if they know that the place called West Point could produce the best fresh water products pepper soup, they will all go there to drink pepper soup. Tell me I'm lying.
No.
Straight from God to man, from the canoe to the pot. The crab, the sea snails, the best of fish, and everything. And when you get there, you swallow pepper soup and you sweat so badly, and you feel the fever leaving you. When you walk out and go to your hotel in Mamba Point and the rest and sink up, after 2 days, what you tell your tour guide?
Take me back there again.
Praise the Lord. You would have empowered the West Pointers. Let me tell you something else about tourism. When I sit down with government officials in Liberia and tell me, my man, but we get rules for tourism. I'm like, these guys are so naive.
You should have seen the road in Florida, dusty road.
You do not. The first beautiful thing about tourism is that you don't need car road. Bro, because I knew what I wanted, I bought a car. The car I use in Liberia, yes, there's none available. There are some looking like it, but none is like it. Why I did that? I invested extra compared to what the car would be sold at a dealership. And I went to the factory because I didn't want no road to stop me from moving. So I go to Guinea, Gambia, Senegal, Ghana, Sierra Leone, everywhere, and drive. And I know what I accomplish and what I achieve and what I benefit on the roads. No one can tell me that any country has a bad food.
So, Chris, how can we move forward now? How can we, as a people, as a country, what do we
We are
need?
moving forward. Actually, we're actually moving forward, but we're moving forward individually.
Okay.
But what we need is the government to put in the policies and regulations and have the political will to execute so they can pull the resources that we have been putting into place individually. Look, don't you realize that more Liberians are coming to Liberia than ever before?
Correct.
It's our efforts
Mm-hmm.
to speak to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. I'm young. I have been to over 60, 70 countries. I'm done. I should be comfortable. But where there is passion, there's a willingness. And where there's a willingness, there's passion. And you know the beautiful thing about it? Money will not count if you prepare yourself for tomorrow. But when you prepare yourself for tomorrow, money will never stop flowing.
Wow, that's so true. Chris, isn't there a tourism association in Liberia? Are you a part of it?
Yeah, I know there's a tourism association that is governed and controlled by Mrs. Ure.
Okay.
I have not been able to engage. I've not gotten involved. I've also not been called upon. It's not an ego thing. It's not a pride thing because the first thing that carries me, you know me well, is humility and selflessness. Wherever I go, I serve. I had a nasty experience in Liberia in 2012 where the state wanted me to make sure Miss Liberia was won by someone, and I stood my grounds and I got whipped for it very well, but it never stopped me. Most of the events that happen in Liberia, people don't know that I'm involved to make sure it works. I'm not in the interest of killing it, but it's one thing I have done. So that next year, it happened in 2012. And I said to myself, I will structure the entertainment sector that by 2024, when my company will return, there'll be a difference. So what did we do? Instead of going to the Ministry of Information, Culture, and Tourism to get permit to host events, which is the first room for low productivity, which is the first room for direct government interference in what you do, Citycom went ahead and bought up 49 intellectual properties. So the reason why we bought 49 intellectual properties is not to host them ourselves, but to make sure young Liberian entertainment companies who want to host these things, we can give them guidelines, sign an MOU with them for 3, 4, 5 years, support them with serious media and marketing skills, provide them some funding as well as an opportunity to build wealth. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Information, have actually tried to infringe on our intellectual properties because they don't even know how it operates, even though they are members of the board of the intellectual property offices. But with Citycom and Christopher Hayes Onanunga, I'll take you to task. So it happened 2 years ago. I sued the government. They can't even pay $39,000 that they were sued for. So it's an appeal issue. Today, they are conforming because somebody took on the establishment. So let me tell you, when you own an intellectual property, it means that you no longer need permission from the government of Liberia to institute that. I'll give you some example. The National Excellence Awards today, nobody can host it. The National Leadership Lecture Series, nobody can host it. Face of Liberia, nobody can host it. Most beautiful girl in Liberia that they're advertising, the government gave right to the people, but they had to realize that any mistake, they will go to court. So they came for permit and we've issued them. Our business is not to hoard it. Our business is to standardize. If I was able to work to standardize in Ghana, Miss Ghana and the rest, in Nigeria, Miss this and Miss that, in Kenya, most beautiful girl in, face of Africa, in the face of Africa in whole much. What more we cannot standardize Liberia? Even if it's going to cost us small blood from our legs, we'll do it. At the end of the day, after they demonize you and the rest, there's one thing that will speak for you. Over the years, once you are consistent with what you do, the people will see you for who you are.
Correct.
Now, that's what tourism is. We can start and stop. We can only start and never stop.
So, Chris, how do we pull? You did talk about we're doing it individually. There's a tourism board. How do we pull? I mean, how do we pull people like you around the table? People who are doing stuff like the Patawi
Oh,
Fall.
brother,
All of these.
let me say this to you.
How
First
do
of
we
all,
bring them around
I'm
the table?
available 100% for Liberia without charge. First of all, I'm not a politician, so I don't want government job. So if you, every government have offered me something, every government have offered me something, but I'm not a government. I'm not a political person. I believe that I can serve without having to hold a title. There are people who have a calling to hold positions, and once they have a calling and they hold it, you will see the quality of their services. There are those who don't have a calling for positions in government, and they can be in the private sector and still host. For instance, do you know that I take young girls and boys out of that country to visit other countries and inspire them? And it's a whole huge budget for the best of hotels, the best of allowances, and giving them the opportunity to sit down with board of directors in board meetings of companies and change their horizons. We do that. But it's not for the TV publicity. No.
Correct.
Do you know how many persons that are on scholarship and the rest? Do you know how many times Rotary Club will invite me for an event and I'll go there and see that they're finding sponsorship for students in Cottington who they have to pay school fees for, and I realized that they could do more with their money by paying healthcare, and I say, you know what? We will cater to these 10 students. How much? $800. Okay, tomorrow you'll pick up the 10,000, 8,000, go pay the school fees. Those are our interests. Our interest is not to, hey, let me tell you something. The day someone like me decide to contest election is the day God will just slap me deaf, because it's not my calling. Everyone have their callings. The lady in our studio, she's beautiful. But I have seen where we've discovered somebody in Nigeria who ended up being Miss World. She was selling bread. We saw her selling bread on the street. She became Miss World. Hello?
Hello? Hi.
We've discovered people on the street. The best people you can find, the most humble people you can find, are on the street doing something productive. There's a kid at the EDWin junction who, through tourism, by movement of people X, Y, and Z, were driving. We discovered that kid. How did we discover that kid? A lady was to buy water from the car, and she was trying to pay the kid 100 LD for the water, but she didn't even know that under the 100 LD, she had given the kid 100 US. That kid ran behind that car. We're wondering why that kid was running. So I said, well, let's listen to this kid. When we passed the Boulevard Junction, going to think of to EDWin Junction, we parked. And the kid came breathing crazy. Oh my, you have me run too much. Oh, my friend was telling me to stop. Well, I wanted to realize that he wanted to own his $100 that he already had, but he didn't want to own the 100 US that was not his.
Wow.
Hello.
Wow.
One day he will come on radio to celebrate, or on TV. Instead of us putting on radio, no. He's in mission school in Nigeria. He's doing good. Because the more you blow up the noise, the more it gets into his head. And if you must grow a man from the start, you must grow him in an environment of silence, understanding, wisdom that guides him into a society where he's going to have to be a change maker. It has to be with sound understanding of his humble beginning to his rise. And he should never forget where he came from.
It's true.
Even when he rises.
Chris, thank you. One of the things I want to ask, I'm very much interested in the waterways, and we've talked about the waterways before. Putting ferry on the water and other things. Have you thought about that that kind of a business opportunity as well?
I don't call anything in tourism business. You must have passion to get involved. So, like I said to you, we're setting up this huge one-stop solution production center. It's going to be ready by November, December. When that is done, then you see where the tentacles are going.
Okay.
Because when it motivates people, the main mistake we make is this. Let me tell you the mistake. And for the two young coordinators in the studio, I'll say, what's this gentleman's name again?
Dolo.
Dolo.
Yes.
People think you need a huge money to invest to start a business. No. Sometimes you don't need a dime to start a business.
The ideas.
But this is what you need to work with. So put it down on paper. TPE. T is for think it. P is for plan it. E is for execute it. Now I'm going to tell you how the three work.
TPE.
You have the most valuable tool to accomplish business and wealth. But you know what you use it for? Facebook.
The most powerful tool in the world. They have it in their
Your
hand.
mobile phone, I'll tell you how it is. Sometimes you're walking in Monrovia, some beautiful ideas can come to your head, right? When you see some things, then you say, well, I get one, I write this thing down. Trust me, because they're ideas that came at the moment, on the spur of a moment, you can never remember them originally as you remember them when you get home. But suppose you just open your phone quickly, stop, and speak your audio. Don't you think when you get home, it will remain fresh because it's already spoken to at that scene?
Yeah.
That is the think it. When it comes, capture it. When you get home and begin to transcribe it into black and white, you realize that because you had it in the original form from where you saw to think out the idea, you will see yourself having greater ideas flowing through you. Now, when it becomes a black and white material on paper, you know what it is? It's the plan it. Because then you thought it, you planned it, it becomes a plan it because it's a full-blown proposal. And there's somebody over there who doesn't think at all, but he has so much cash, he has no idea as to what to do with it.
Yeah, right. Got to bridge that gap.
And you go and sell your idea in the public, and somebody say, oh, but anything you turn out, you got it written? No, I will try to.
You waste your time.
Waste your
You know,
time.
the person that asking you innocently, by the time you say, yeah, I got it, he may not talk. When you group over, you call, you come. Let's go talk about that your proposal. You got budget for it? How much thing it will cost?
That's important.
Every
I just got
young,
one. No, go
every-
ahead, sir.
every
And your
young
statement.
man, every young woman who I encounter, they no longer can be the same. Take, for instance, in Painesville, there at my office, a young man who I met 7 years ago, graduated just a few months ago. His name is Musa Valai Kamara. The first name I'm going to mention. Now he's a geologist. He's graduated as a geologist. I don't know him. I don't know his ma house. I know his pa house. Hello.
Aye.
But I moved out of my own personal apartment, and that's where he is.
Wow.
That's one. He has a vehicle to himself. That's two. But I don't trust no one from my family to handle financials apart from him.
Wow.
Guess what? He's handling that project I talk about. He's the one spending the money, physical cash. And whatever he tells me he's negotiated is final.
Credibility.
So, let me tell you something. It's character, not just credibility, character. Because character desists you from being a being. So sometimes I think I've negotiated and I go and negotiate. I say, my man, go pay that man 30,000 at traveling. That other man, 90,000 at traveling. I finish here and I do it. Waste of time. I leave. That man will come in 2 days later, 3 days. My man, you say you're going to send somebody to pay the money. I will call Musa. Man, what the hell wrong with you? You don't pay the money. CEO, making noise. That's how he talks to me because we got it. See you making noise. Musa, I'm making noise. See you. I'm feeling doing the thing. See you. Musa, I read one. See you. Anytime you go to that store, there's a receipt. But there's something behind it he has done. He has renegotiated. Tell me, if a man gives you more reason to trust, why will you not continue to trust?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. For me, we actually I don't know. I'm really feel this evening and yes, so much.
Magdalene, before we go too far, you come and be Miss World. I am manager. You finish what you're saying.
Yes. I want you to talk. I want you to talk a little bit about the regulation. Are you talking about us establishing a regulatory body for tourism? Is that what you think should happen, or do we have that? What is the regulation?
Okay, so listen, we have the Ministry of Information, Culture, and Tourism, right? So there's a tourism arm that is governed by an Assistant Minister of Tourism, right? So already we got a structure. Even if it's not the best structure, we got a structure. But under that particular department, how do you run tourism? The only thing the ministry is interested in is the hotels, hospitality. You ain't can pay your due. Yeah, that's the 1% of tourism. And like I said, when you are talking about agency. For instance, you can have the Bureau of Tourism. You can have a separate autonomous agency like you have Maritime, like you have LPRC, like you have NP. You can have that. And the three I've mentioned, none of them can give you more money than an autonomous agency that governs tourism. None. Absolutely none. But when you even establish it, you still need the regulations. And I discussed the regulations before, and I'm going to try again. I'm going to give you examples. The government needs to put in regulations that make sure that citizens don't take advantage of the tourists, and the tourists don't take advantage of what? Citizens. Because there are negative sides. Take, for instance, do you want the international, is our culture able to accept the fact that LGBT can host a national party in Liberia and publicize it? That's it. Based on our tradition and culture, do we say that we can host a national beer festival in Liberia like it's done in Munich every year in Germany? The beer festival is about 45 days. I've been to it. It's delicious, sweet, and fantastic, even though I don't drink and smoke. But I enjoy it. There's a lot of fun there. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
But don't you think that we have the Dumbo Festival to Basso?
Lima Cantelo.
The GB Festival to Nima?
Right.
The Palm Butter Festival to this?
Right.
The this and that to that, and that. Who told you that cricket and drag is sour and sweet? I have eaten cricket. Enough! In fact, let me tell you, I ate cricket, burger ball, and what do you call it? Bamboo worm together with boiled yam, my man, with a fresh sauce pepper in Maryland. I never decided to eat fish again. Well, I'm not going to Maryland.
Wow.
Our culture have got it. Who told you we cannot create festivals? And who told you Liberia? Okay, let me inspire the younger people here. Do you know that before the war, no superstar artist could leave from anywhere around the world to come to Africa unless they perform in Liberia first? Do you guys know that? That's how we used to have what you call Yellow Man, the reggae festival.
Yellow Man, yeah. I remember
those days in wrestling, real Apollyon, Mary Mascaras.
I mean, you're talking to a lot of people who know we owe.
That's what I'm trying to motivate. Let me shock you. Do you know that Liberia was the hub for all global airlines before they go to any other country in West Africa?
KLM.
They will land into Liberia, other small airlines to take them to other countries. Pan Am, British Caledonia.
Yeah.
So that was when it was working for us. And at that time, our eyes were not even open. But we had leaders who understood what to do, when to do, and how to manage. We can still get there. Don't be doubted. Don't doubt yourselves. Liberia is getting there because if you don't know, Millions of dollars are being invested by individuals in Liberia in different places.
That's true.
Nimba is becoming a city, a capital city to rival Monrovia.
Wow.
Yes.
Which
City will
city is the
benefit.
city? Banga?
Banga will benefit. Then you have to understand that once these things are in place by individuals, you're saying, oh, that individual doing it. But once the government put the policies in place to regulate, innovate them, provide them some level of subsidies, everything will just come to. Okay, hold on. Take a look. Scatter nails everywhere in the carpenter shop, and drop one huge magnet on the floor. What happened?
Everything will retract.
All these nails will start running to where the boss man. That's what we're looking at.
And that is possible. That will happen. I mean,
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's there. It's coming.
So we would like to interact with the public. Let's get calls from those listening and watching as well. Yeah, so too much education this evening, and I'm getting so filled. Oh yes, thanks to the CEO of City.com, Mr. Hens Onu Nagu.
You won't get in trouble.
Magdalene, you're not being Miss Warrior.
I want to get in trouble.
We're taking you from there.
All right, 077-25-38-19, 077-25-38-19. And our guest today is Mr. Chris Hens Onanuga. Onanuga, CEO of City.com. And we are discussing tourism, the importance of tourism in Liberia. Hello? All you have to do is just to walk away from your monitor so we'll not have feedback here. Hello? Okay, then I'll let you go. Let me take another call, 077-25-38-19, discussing the importance, economic benefit of tourism in Liberia. Yes, sir.
I'm fine.
Yes, sir, quickly.
Yeah, listening to yes, I'm really admiring and really, I learned a lot of things from him today.
Okay. Okay.
I appreciate that. And also, I'm asking when you find their office, I want to living my study essay, so I want to let it do that area.
Okay.
So that we can see out there.
Okay. All right. So we get you, and his second note, and he will respond. Hello.
Yeah, God bless you. It's a pleasure being on your show this afternoon.
Welcome, sir.
This is Apostle Weir, and I want to commend the studio guest.
Apostle, you have to move away from your monitor, sir.
Is it much better now?
Okay.
Yeah, the last information I heard, but it was so negative. I think I don't know whether that's propaganda or whatever, but from his deliberation this afternoon, everything he has said, I'm very thrilled, and I believe that we are praying for some commissioner leaders in our nation.
Okay.
And God had a way of raising people to his own choice to lead his people. So I really want to get in contact with him. Besides, I want to retract that statement he used whenever he decided to run for political office. God should slap me. I think that is not God's purpose for his life. God will use him even transform this nation based upon all that he has delivered on the show. I want to say thank you. I want to get in contact with him and how that can be done.
Okay, Prophet. Okay, thanks for your participation. Hello.
I want to man bless him.
He's an apostle. He's not
yes, sir.
prophet.
So I want to do call
yes, quickly.
Yeah, thank you for the topic of discussion. You guys here. But I want to understand regarding the church children and with drugs because we are getting that crowd. And the constitution also went to that. So how is that going to happen?
Okay.
Okay, he's taking note and he's going to respond to your inquiry. Yeah, hello. Hello? Yes, sir.
What do you want?
Yes, sir. Okay, let me take another caller. Hello.
How are you?
Yes, sir. It's good to have you on quickly.
Yeah, my name is Ivan.
Okay.
I want to tell the panelists, thank you very much for the discussion. He has proceeded very well, and I'm admiring him. And I think it would be good for him when the person is hoping for in the country. And we can see that Nigeria is showing of prosperity. So in all these Nigeria, we can see that Nigeria showing of prosperity. So why we see the region we can see prosperity?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm from Johnson from Papa Street.
Yeah, quickly.
Yeah, I'm going to ask a question when it comes to tourism. I think if people somebody enter the country, when people be trained as to take care of the person, because I'm not like doing my country, and that you know, I'm just put my hand first. We can get, are we really there to make sure that we get a people that come at the serious side?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Hello.
Yes, how you going?
Yes, sir.
Brother Emmanuel, you are calling for Kiboro.
Why?
Yes, following the show and all what the guest is saying is actually like seeing my research I did the biggest states in the world but they even get all our structure bills less authority. So I think we as a Liberia we should follow such a full step in order to transform our country and build our economy.
Oh, okay, sir. Thanks for placing your call. Hello. Hello. Okay, let me let you go. I mean, when you please call, you just keep following. Yeah. Hello. I'm good, sir. Okay.
You know, my brother said, you know, she was with some of us that had this opportunity to go. We go, he's lucky. I have spent some time in Lucky Girl. For 1 month, everybody going here is getting here that I feel everyone all go out there. People all over the world go wide, they go see. Now they don't have very like this about the Khalifa, which of them want to they have the issue of the food. Don't have food now in the world. It's not on the city. All people went wild of all the Yahoo, we all places that people spend money. People, which of course everyone all know of, people, people are coming in,
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thanks for placing your call. We'll take the last caller. Too many calls coming, but we have to go because we are running for another program. Yeah, hello, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Oh, go on.
I'm listening to Mr. Chat.
Chris.
Hello. I'm listening to Mr. Chris. I listen to Mr. Chris. Thank you for the information about what we have with what we all Liberians who have money or even idea can put an idea to try to form job for other people. I think it will be a great thing for Liberia and we'll move forward. Instead of everybody seeking for a governmental or appointed position. Everybody want to do politics. Everybody can be politicians. Some other people have to spread another sector to open the market for other people to work. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Sorry we can't take any more calls. We're so sorry. So just keep following, and we will try to find money so we can bring back Mr. Chris here. Yeah, we'll try to find money.
We'll find money to pay him back.
So take at least two hours of his time. Yeah, so Chief, it's going to call us, though. Just unmute yourself.
I did listen to them, but I didn't hear the questions because the phone was bubbling on your end. Maybe you can repeat them, but generally, I do know that they understood the messages because of the level of the first two callers. The first one talked about location. They wanted to know the location of the office. And like I said, I'm on a platform and I'm not going to speak about the next platform. Um, but one thing for sure is that we are Citycom Liberia Limited. We are in Painesville by Zone 5 police station. And trust me, you can always pick up my name from here and go on social media and pick me out. And then you can get as much information as you need. When you do send me a message, I will respond to you. And from there, we can take another level. But I realized that most of the pastor talk about me in politics. No, no, pastor, please just pray for me that I shouldn't change my mind. If I change my mind, God should slap me. On the other hand,
Yeah, he wants you to retract the statement.
and why I'm asking you to pray that God shouldn't allow me to change it because it's God that made it that way. You should know your calling. Um, the other thing I want you all to understand is that it's an opportunity for us to keep spreading the messages, for us to continue to exemplify ourselves in the society wherever we are. We should, as much as possible, build good relationships. We shouldn't find ourselves gossiping about people, pulling them down. Because I also developed that instead of saying crab mentality, I call it PHDS, pull him down syndrome. I always like to create
Okay.
academic connotation, and I'm grateful that things are working out in Liberia the way it should work out. And time, it just requires time, and things will change. On this note, I'd like to say thank you for having me here,
Okay.
and have a nice and wonderful day.
All right,
Thank
sir.
you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Bobby. Yes.
Yeah, hey, I can't express enough thanks and gratitude to Mr. Onanuga for taking time, very valuable time out of his business schedule to be with us here. I gained a lot of insight. I will definitely give him a call, and we'll discuss more about tourism and the economy of Liberia. Thank you, Mr. Onanuga.
Thank you.
Over to you, Jackson.
So, Chris, I want to say thank you
I
again.
mean, not on this show here.
Chris, look, we will connect.
Yeah,
Look, we
not
will
my bad
connect.
blood.
No, that is not bad thought. That big brother, he wants me to do the right thing. I think that's what he wants me to do. And so I will do the right thing. He has a wealth of knowledge. Chris, let me tell you something. When you are persistent and you're consistent and you're doing what you're supposed to do, you will have a lot of enemies. The Bible says, "I'll prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies." If you don't got table, you don't got enemy, you will not get table.
Yes,
And it looks like your table. The more enemies you got, not bad enemies, because when you do good, you get enemies. Whenever you succeed, you get enemies. Even some of your friends will leave you. So I want you to understand that we who are in business, we have our own enemies. Not that you created them by bad things. It's just because you are succeeding. And so I want you to keep focused. But one of the things I want us to do, we who are all into this business thing, we need a network. I keep saying it over and over. We need to start networking so that when that magnet falls, we can all attract by that magnet. That's all I have to say. Thank you for coming. We learn a lot, and I appreciate it. I'll give you a call after this show.
Okay. Thank you, Magdalene. Thank you, Dolo. To have a nice and wonderful day.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yes, but others are trying to connect with you, your office. How can they connect with you? Because I don't know when the 2.6 million facility will be completed, and people are so concerned because tourism creates job opportunities. So
Okay,
everyone,
so listen.
everyone wants to connect.
For those who have
If
eyes,
everybody knows where Cool FM is, Cool 91.9 FM is, you can walk there and you understand what we're doing. It's physical.
Oh,
You
okay.
see,
so now you got eyes, huh?
The
Now
man
you
didn't
can
want to
see.
advertise the other thing. Now you told
Now you can see, right?
Yeah. Oh, I get it now. I interacted with him once, and he wanted me to answer like 10 questions in 1 minute. I got you here today. Oh wow. Okay,
High
that's good.
functioning.
I interacted with him before.
He's high
Okay.
functioning. That's all.
All right. Okay. All right, Chief. It was wonderful having you. See you next week Friday.
Thank you, man.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. And we were discussing the economic importance of tourism to Liberia. What are the benefits? So, I mean, tourism, of course, is creates jobs, strengthens the local economy, contributes to the local infrastructure development, and can help to conserve natural environment and cultural assets as well. So we have to go. Tourism is the world's largest industries and is generating trillions of dollars globally.
Yes, I think Madeleine has been a very wonderful edition of the program, Business Economic Forum. I think with this show, we can make many entrepreneurs for Liberia. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful time.
So before we can leave today, I was at the Coroner Hotel, and Liberia is commemorating 20 years of stability, uneven progress, and the unfinished basis of the Accra Peace Agreement. So today, August 18, 20 years ago, we signed the Accra Peace Agreement in Accra, and today at the Coroner Hotel, we had Liberians, non-Liberians, were all there from different organizations, including Senator Komine Wise, who was one of those who signed up to the peace agreement in Accra. So it was actually wonderful. But we're going to talk about it more on Monday. Yes. I hope maybe you could join the team if the time permits you. So on that note,
thank you so much.
Thanks so much for the time, and we are in traffic plus now. It's a heavy downpour of rain. Yes, so we got to go. On that note, freedom reign from every town, every district. Have a wonderful weekend, as I will do tomorrow. I'm supposed to be at the University Hall tomorrow, serving as a moderator for a program. Yes, observing the International Youth Day. I'm trying to get the song. Yeah, International Youth Day. They are having a program tomorrow at the. Yeah, I'm trying to get it.
Play directly.
Okay, so we have to go. So please, okay, that's it, and we got to go. See you on Monday.